guess it's not such a good time for everybody.
Yes, for doing it.
It's a good time for you. It's a good time for us.
There you go. But
We
clearly,
appreciate it.
Clearly, actions, words speak louder than actions, maybe.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Saying most of the guys said it's okay for them, but they're not here.
They're not going to tell you because you're.
Why shouldn't they tell me? They tell me, I'll change it.
So Yaakov, quick Hanukkah thing.
Yeah.
I saw somebody that some people were very careful of how they throw out the wicks. You know, with the pre-made stuff, you could just throw it in the garbage. You don't have to like wrap it up or anything, right?
You should have in mind that none of it is kaddish. After a half hour, none of it has any kedusha, and then you don't have any problems.
You can just throw it out in the regular garbage, no problem.
Yeah. I think I told somebody today to wrap it up, depending on, the more nervous type want to hear that they have to do something. So you tell them, wrap
No,
it
if I
up.
carry it, I don't want to hear it.
I know you don't want it, but I'm saying.
You have in mind not to Kaddish? What does that mean?
Meaning, really only you need the light for a half hour. Everything else is bonus time. Right?
But it's still Kaddish for that half an hour.
Good, but it doesn't have Kedusha per se. You're lighting it because you're lighting it out, a frumkite or whatever it is, but it's not, doesn't have Kedusha where you could take it. And it's like taking 2 esrogim, right? It's the first esrog that you take is going to have Kedusha. The second one, if you're just walking around with it, so that's not going to have Kedusha unless you make it have Kedusha. If you don't make it have Kedusha, it's not. Right? So that's...
Or you can bury it, you say?
No, wrap it up.
Or burn it.
Burn it with the chametz.
I don't know how. They don't say that. They don't say to burn it with the chametz because if it's legitimately from the first half hour, they're afraid that you're going to end up using the oil. So that's why they say don't hold on to it till Pesach. So, yeah.
I don't know. Every time I ever say I never ended up using it.
I know nobody nowadays, we're not going to use it, but in the old days.
I'm certain. I was saying I was hoping he would be on before you, but I don't know how he's the one who sends these out, the tweets.
Well, I send them, but why?
Because I mean, the guy wants he's a chassid of minchas halacha. How did he send out such a tweet? Halacha, no requirement to sit by the menorah after lighting.
That's
how
me.
Does he send?
No,
such
it was
a
me. It was me. He just arranged it. I was the lit fish in me. It was the lit fuck in
right,
me.
that was fire lit fish.
Yes. Although I didn't have room. That's the problem. I didn't have room to write, but there's an Indian to sit by the neighbors. I didn't have room. I was really coming to combat. It's on people like they have to go to Hanukkah parties, and the husband says, "No, I got to sit there." Or usually, a lot of times the wife says, "No, we got to sit there," and the husband's like, "No, we got to get out. We're going to be late." And Lamai cigarette. There's no reason to make any shalom bayit. That was really the point.
You ever try telling a woman she doesn't have to sit by the candles?
Did I ever try telling? It's not an issue in my family, but
Yeah, because it's the same thing with telling them they could cook chametz and pasuk all in the same oven.
correct. Well, that one I think, yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay,
I
so
was
let's
trying-
go.
So Yaakov, you can sit by the menorah and say Ana B'Koyach also 7 times each word.
That's true. You can do all sorts of kavanas.
All right, you got a wedding to go.
Yeah.
Sammy's on the ball, baby. He's
There
on
you
the
go.
ball.
So Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, Lo Yoyeh Tzarech Leimer Zechraynis, right?
Wait, where are we up to? Not all of us were
Bottom
here.
line, a test sign of a base. Right, so Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, Lo Yoyeh Tzarech Leimer Zechraynis. Says you don't have to say Zechraynis. Like the first shita was that you say Zechraynis and Shofars, just like you do on any other on Rosh Hashanah. So Amar Avoda to Min Yafo, my time with Rabbi Yehuda. Why does Rabbi Yehuda say that you don't have to? Because we had a Machlokes in the Mishnah whether you should say Machlis and Zechraynis or not. I mean Zechraynis and Shofars or not. So he answers, L'fishein Oimim Zechraynis v'Shofars, and on to the next stop. Because we don't say Zechraynis and Shofars el b'Rosh Hashanah or b'Yovelis or b'Shas Milchama. Only on Rosh Hashanah, Yovel, and by war. Other than that, even though a fast is a major thing, but we don't say that. Right? We only say it by Rosh Hashanah, by Yovel, meaning Yovel means Yom Kippur of Yovel, and b'Shas Milchama. Okay. So al Rishonos Uaymer Mishanas Avram, and then it goes through everything. So then Tana yesh machlifin tza'aka le'Eliyahu utfila l'Shmuel. Because the last two, it says Baruch Atah Hashem. What does it say there again? When it says Mishana Eliyahu, it says Shemei Tza'aka. And by Shmuel, when it says Hashem who answered Shmuel, it says Shemei Tefillah, right? The end of the bracha. So some swap it. The Gemara says some say it's Tza'aka goes to Eliyahu and Tefillah goes to Shmuel. So Bishlam Agabi Shmuel Ksiv Beit Tefillah. By Shmuel, we know it says Tefillah, Uksiv Beit Tza'aka, and it also said Tza'aka, so therefore both can work. Elagabi Eliyahu, but by Eliyahu, Tefillah Ksiv, Tza'aka like Ksiv. It says Tefillah by Eliyahu, it doesn't say Tza'aka. Yeah, so Gemara answers, Anenu, Aneni, Hashem Aneni, Lashon Tza'aka. Answer me, Hashem answer me, that's a Lashon of Tza'aka, and therefore that's not, it can go for either one of them, right? So Tza'aka and Tefillah can both, it's interchangeable between Eliyahu and Shmuel. Fine, right, there are Shishis, who I'm Mishan as Yonah, right? The seventh bracha was if whoever answered Yonah, Hashem answered Yonah, and the seventh is David and Shlomo. So now, just historically, Michti Yonah Basar David or Shlomo have. Yonah came after he came later than David or Shlomo have. My time of Makdam Leberesh. So how come he went first? Meaning the order of these brachas starts with Avram, and it goes down through history, except when it gets to the end where Yonah comes first, even though Yonah was after. So how come he went first? So my answer is because the chasima, the end of that bracha says Merachim al haaretz. So therefore, Merachim al haaretz, that the Oretz, the land of Eretz Yisrael, had to do with David and Shlomo. Right? Rashi says two pshatim. One is that they davened to Eretz Yisrael. That was kach shamati. That's what Rashi says he heard. Right? And the other is that they were masakin the beis hamikdash, which is the ikar of Eretz Yisrael, the beis hamikdash. So since we want to end that last bracha off with that, so therefore we gave it to David and Shlomo. But that's really just in the history. That's you want to give that as a teretz.
Yeah.
And well, this is I mean, if you're setting up the chachamim, setting up the brachas in a historical order, so you want to say ein muktam v'ocher. I mean, muktam v'ocher is really whether the stories happened in the same order or not. Not really. It's not really how they said it. But okay, I hear. Fine. Okay, so Tana Mishum Sumchas Amru Baruch Mashpil Haramim. Right? In Sumchas, they said that the last bracha is Mashpil Haramim, who knocks down the Balei Gaiva. Right? Yeah, so meaning because the Gaiva, that's what we've been saying, that the Gaiva is what's causing Hashem to not bring the rain. So therefore, you say that bracha. Okay. Now for the kohanim amongst us, this is a major Gemara. Shalosh, and you better hope that how we paskin from this Gemara. Yeah. But
Aaron, be careful.
That's right. That is right. Shalosh tiny as a rishinus anshi mishmer misanin v'lei mashlim.
Well,
so the first,
see, Yaakov, it doesn't apply to either of the two kohanim that I see right now. Right?
No. You know what? I hope they're probably hoping that you agree. Right? I mean that they agree. I'm saying that they agree. Yeah. Fine. Yeah. So anyway, so let's see. So Tanur, but then the Gemara goes into about what that the Anshe Mishmar are not allowed to drink. Right? So Tanur Rabbanan Mipnei Amru Anshe Mishmar B'Tarin Lishtas Yain B'Leilis Avalei B'Yom. How can they say that the people that are on duty, right? There's 24 mishmaras of Gehanim, and they're not allowed to drink wine when they're on duty, right? Shema tichbar ha'avoda al anshe beis, because maybe the people that are actively on duty will need help, and then these guys are going to be drunk, and then they're not going to be able to help. They're going to come help them out, and therefore it's going to passel up the avoid in the beis hamikdash because they already drank. Yeah. So and why the anshe beis not at night and not even during the day? Because since they're the ones actively taking care, so they're constantly being isaac in the avodah. So from here we say kol kohen shemakir mishmartoi u'mishmeres beis av shaloi. Any kohen who recognizes and he knows which mishmar he was part of, and which beis av it was part of. Meaning he knew. Meaning even nowadays, let's say you had a what do you call those things that they have on the internet? The family tree things. Somehow the Kohen figured out that he knew exactly when his mitzvah was supposed to be, and he knew which time of the week, time of the month it's supposed to be.
Genealogy.
Right, but he knew mamish, the genealogy. Not only that he was a Kohen, but he knew exactly which mishmar he belonged to. Right, so if a Kohen would be like that, and he knew that the beis av, the Rosh beis av was kavua there. Right. Also, lishtos yayin kolos hayom. Then the days that he knew that if there would be a beis hamikdash, he would be on call. Then he would have to. Then he can't drink. Right? Why? Because the beis hamikdash could be built at any time, and since it could be built at any time, then he'll be on duty and he's going to be drunk, so he's not allowed to. Yeah. So let's say he recognizes his mishmar, but he doesn't recognize the mishmar beis av. But he knows that the batei avos of akuah there also lishtos yayin kol oisa Shabbos. It's also for him to drink wine that entire Shabbos.
Why?
Right? Because he doesn't know. Meaning the less familiar he comes, the more usher it becomes for him to drink. Meaning if he knows exactly when he was on call, so he only doesn't drink when he would be on call, and that's it. If he doesn't know exactly when he's on call, but he knows vaguely which mishmar he's part of, so let's say that mishmar gets it for the month of Adar or half of Adar, let's say, right? So then half of Adar he would be out from drinking, because in case the beis hamikdash gets built, he's going to be thrown right into the Avoda.
Kol oisa Shabbos. What does that mean?
That the week that he should be on duty if there would be a beis hamikdash.
The week.
Right.
This is where it comes. This is where it comes from. Not drinking before duchening.
Yeah, that's exactly where it comes from. Yeah. But this is saying not drinking at all that week. Let's say you knew that every week. Let's say you had a messiah from your great or a million greats that second week in Kislev you know that your family was on duty. That means the second week in Kislev for the rest of your life you can't drink, because how do you know the beis hamikdash is not going to be built and you're going to be thrown right in there? So that's what it
really messes up the whole kiddush situation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then it
Just
gets
for
worse.
1 week. Just for 1 week.
Yeah, but that's only if you know which week. But if you don't, now the next case, right?
Without sounding like a koifer.
Yeah.
Without sounding like a koifer.
Yeah.
Why can't he drink? It's a milsim loishkich. It didn't come.
Yeah, because we have to hope every day that the Mashiach is going to come.
I know we have to hope, but we're gonna not do drinking.
You're not going to drink a glass
I would
of
say.
schnapps.
What do you mean?
That
I would say the beis.
That means
I would say the beis hamikdash is going to be built instantly. It's not going to. How long is he going to be drunk for?
No, we said the Bayis Shlishi is coming straight down from Shemayim. That's what we said. I mean, again, I don't know.
I'm saying
what
with
that
no
means.
warning, with no nothing. Just a 1 minute, 1 second it's not there, the next second it's there.
That's what it
Hey,
sounds
nobody asked him to be a Kohen.
without sounding like a koifer again.
Yeah.
I'm
like a
a
kofer.
Kohen.
First of all,
Reb, preface it one more time for us, please. One more.
let us be the judge whether you're a koifer anyways, okay? So go ahead.
No, meaning a Kohen is at his son's, at his daughter's Sheva brachas. He can't drink wine.
Let him figure out. Let him make the chasna according to that date. What's the big deal?
Amara, what if he has a very high tolerance level? He knows he's fine.
Is it Friday night?
Then you have to go to the poskim. That's not my call.
Is the
I didn't want
Sheva
to sound like a
brachas on
koifer.
Friday night?
I don't know, whatever it is.
No, because the
Is he allowed to do Avoda during Sheva brachas anyway?
I don't know.
For the win.
Probably not.
The beis hamikdash cannot show up on Friday afternoon. Hello?
Okay.
Yes. I don't know. You have to believe every day that Mashiach could come, which I tell you. You have to believe that every day.
Friday night?
The Rabbanan being geyser. For La'olam Vayed, you can't do it because Mashiach, which didn't come the last 2,000 years, it should
Correct.
come today. So
Correct.
the Rabbanan being geyser on something that didn't come the last 2,000 years because it's gonna come tomorrow.
Yes, right. Now this
Okay.
gezerah, Zev,
Okay.
I know you're not from the big drinkers, but this is not like a major gezerah. We're telling a kohen not to drink for a week. You know what I mean? It's not like we're knocking him out. No.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? You gotta know. the crowd.
Somebody has to stand up for the Harris Street minion. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, first, we have to find out if it's what about is mashka in the gezerah?
I was gonna say, where does scotch and vodka fall in over here?
Later there's a machlokes if he can ever drink wine.
Correct. That's coming up in the next line, next two lines. But
Okay,
also,
so-
right, no, what Yeshver said is schnapps included in this.
I don't know.
Also, Dr. Zakharov, it's also saying a good thing because Mashiach can't come at certain times.
Shabbos, Yom Tov.
Correct. So then it might be should be mutter. Only thing is the question is, does it have to do with Mashiach? Does it have to do with the beis hamikdash? Right? So that's.
Are you allowed to drink on Purim? It might come on Purim.
Oh, so and a chanami. So maybe you can't. Maybe you wouldn't be able to.
If your mishmar falls that week, that's it. No Purim for you ever.
Right, no, but it's even worse because if you don't even know what your mishmar is, then you can't ever drink. Finished.
But what
right?
does Rebbe hold like?
Oh, so let's get to it. Bye. So einay makir mishmarta. Let's say you don't recognize your mishmar. Umishmeres beis av shaloi. He'll tell you. Umishmeres beis av shaloi. V'yedei shabbatei avos of kavun sham. And you know that the batei avos of kavun there also lishtos yain kol hashana. You're not allowed to drink. Meaning you have to know you're from the batei avos at least. You have to know that you were from the chashav kohanim that did the avoda. If you know that you're part of the chashav kohanim, right? But you're not sure when you were on call, when you were on duty and all that, then according to this Tana, you can't drink at all because you have no idea when it's going to be, right? When you're going to be called. Now, if you don't know that you're part of this, so then even when the beis hamikdash comes, why would you think that you're going to be the one called to do the avoda? So then you're okay, right?
If there was 24,000 kohanim, they all were broken up into mishmaras or only some?
Mishmaras, batei av, yeah, all that.
So there was 50 families a week?
No, not all kohanim were zeichen.
How did it work?
I don't know how it worked. But that's not all kohanim were zeichen. That's what the Gemara is saying. If you know you were from the families that actually worked in the beis hamikdash, then you don't know exactly what time you were, then you're stuck not drinking the whole year. Rebbe disagrees. Aimer Ani, he says, I say also lishtos yain la'olam. I really say you should be. So it should be also to drink the whole for forever. The takana is the kalkala, meaning his takana is that the beis hamikdash, since we're not behaving, unfortunately, knows beis hamikdash, right? He's saying exactly what you're saying, Zev, that it's been so long since we had a beis hamikdash. How can you answer them?
I don't understand. So what's the machlokes? The machlokes is whether it's a milsa de l'shchicha. What's the machlokes?
It's not a milsa de l'shchicha. It's just a matter of like, what can you do? The kilkel is the kilkel, and finished.
So you could say you're never allowed to drink. What do you mean? They
both say you're never allowed to drink, but Rebbe's saying what we can't answer it indefinitely. That's what he's saying.
So what's the machlokes over here?
The machlokes is whether
I know what the machlokes is. What's the svarim for each one? I know.
What the heck did you have in your latkes? Wow, like Red Bull latkes.
I was gonna embarrass. Why don't you just ask him what happened to my wedding?
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say he had a drink.
No, he's asking a good question. Lamaisa, what's the machlokes here? Is the machlokes whether Rebbe is saying, okay, you don't have to have betachin that Mashiach's coming anymore? That's really what's bothering you, Zev, right?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Right? But yeah, he's saying, I mean, I hate to say it, lahavdul elef alfi avdolos, but he sounds like every other rabbi talking about the Kiddush Club. Really, I think it's aser la'olam, but what should I do? Right? That's what it sounds like.
Parrots, you heard that?
Yeah, we're on to Netflix now. It's smartphones and alazachen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're very busy with that now, parents.
Sounds like the Avoda convention is going an extra day.
Yeah. Come
So
on,
fine.
Shasu.
So Amar Abaya, Kaman Shasu Idno Kahane Chamra. How come Kohanim nowadays drink wine? Kerebi, because they hold like Rebbe. Okay, a very interesting Gemara. I was not mocking it that it was an interesting Gemara, Naftali. Okay, so I let you off. Fine. Anshe Mishmar, Anshe Maimon, Asurum Lasaper, Luchavis. The Anshe Mishmar and the Anshe Maimon are not allowed to take haircuts and not allowed to do laundry. On Thursdays, it was allowed because of Kavod Shabbos. My time. Well, why are they not allowed to take haircuts and do laundry? So the same reason as Chol Hamoed. That they should not go into their mishmar when they're menuvalim. Meaning, if we're going to tell them they're off from work, right, or whatever it is that they do, so they're coming into the beis hamikdash. They'll say, you know what, I'll get my haircut in the beis hamikdash when it's downtime, right? Or I'll do my laundry when it's downtime in the beis hamikdash. But no, we don't want that. We want them to come in looking chashuv. So therefore, we asked them from taking haircuts. Then they would make themselves look good, which is the same reason why in Chol Hamoed we don't allow haircuts and laundry, because we want you to come into the Yom Tif looking your best. And if you're going to allow it to be done on Chol Hamoed, then people are just going to leave it for Chol Hamoed. Okay, so Derabanan, Melech mistaper b'chol yom. A king has to take a haircut every day. Kohen Gadol me'erev Shabbos le'erev Shabbos. The Kohen Gadol takes a haircut once a week. Kohen Hedjid achas l'shoshim yom. The Kohen Hedjid takes it once every 30 days. Melech mistaper b'chol yom. The king takes a haircut every day. My time, Melech your eyes have to see a beautiful king. Yeah, so I guess taking a haircut is part of beauty. Kohen Gadol me'erev Shabbos le'erev Shabbos. My time, Yitzchak Hayel mishmaros mispachos. Since it's new mishmaros, so therefore that the mishmar should see a Kohen Gadol who looks good. Kohen Hedjid achas l'shoshim yomim nolan. How do you know a Kohen Hedjid every 30 days? Asya pera min nazir, because we learn out pera, right, which means like long hair from nazir. Ksiv hacha b'rosham lo yigalchu upara lo yishalechu. Right, they shouldn't cut their hair and they shouldn't grow their hair long. Uksiv hasam kadosh yagadol perasa roisha. So it says it should be holy and he should grow his hair long. So malahalon shloishim, just like there, nazir grows his hair for 30 days. Afkan shloishim, so too by the kohen, it also means every 30 days. Okay, but not
a melech is every day.
Yes.
But does it? I know the thing about nails and Wednesday or Thursday. I keep on forgetting. Is it the same thing with hair? That it takes 3 days for it to grow back?
No, I think hair grows faster.
Okay.
I think so.
So it's not the same thing as nails.
It has nothing to do with his hair is growing or not. It has zero to do with it.
Naftali, 5 o'clock shadow. At the end of the day, you need to shave again.
Right. That's Right. That's true, Aaron. Yeah. So it doesn't, even though really bad, it doesn't have to do with it growing back. It has to do with just showing that it's covered for Shabbos. Okay, but that's yeah. So but
that's not every day.
What?
It's covered for the position, for the melech. Has nothing to do if his hair grows or not.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, but Nazir Gufim, how do we know that Nazir goes 30 days? Amar Masna Stam Nazir Shloshim Yom. Stam and Nazir is 30 days. Minalan, how do we know? Amar Kra, Yeh begematria tlasin havi. The word Yeh is gematria of 30.
Since when they do this in Shas? The gematria.
Yeah, we've had once in a while they do gematrias. When and how and why, I have no idea. Right? Well, we just had a gematria.
Yeah, we had it just recently.
Where was it? I don't remember. Every once in a while we have gematrias.
Do we have a limud from gematria?
Yeah, we have a sometimes we have a limud from fine. So maybe it says that they shouldn't let their hair grow at all. Right? Who says that it means 30 days? If it would say that don't grow, then it would be like you said that it would be every day. Now it says that they shouldn't send pera lehavi shluchei who pera lehavi. It should be a pera, grow long hair. Shluchei u'delay l'shalchu, but it shouldn't send it out too much, meaning not too much hair. So 30 days is somewhere in the middle, right? 30 days you're letting it grow, but not too much. So Gemara asks, so if that's the case, then nowadays too, right? Meaning we know that a nazir, there would be such a thing as a nazir nowadays. You have the same din as a why shouldn't a kohen have the same din? So my answer is dumi to shasu yayin. It's similar to somebody who drinks wine, right? Ma shasu yayin is man bia huda asu shalai is man bia shari. So when somebody who drinks, when he comes into the beis hamikdash, it's asur. When he's not in the beis hamikdash, it's mutter, right? Because it's only a din of the kohen drinking in the beis hamikdash. Hafachanami. So too here, it's only when it's negated to the beis hamikdash. But now, unfortunately, we don't have a beis hamikdash, so therefore kohanim don't have to grow their hair long. So the Gemara says, "Well, Tanya, we learned in the bris, the Rebbe Aimer, what we just said, Aimer ani kohanim asurun lishtes yain lo'ilam. Kohanim can't drink wine forever. What should I do? Right? That the kana, meaning the way they're able to drink, is because there's such a kilkel that the beis hamikdash hasn't been around, right? Like we just quoted. And Abaya said, who are we going like the kohanim do drink nowadays? We're on top of beis. Kerebi, well, it's like Rebbe, Michlal, Derabanan Asri. So it's mashma that Derabanan would aser anybody from drinking wine, even though there's no beis hamikdash, which is what we said halfway up Amud, which is that's the Machlokes is bothering up, right? So whatever it is, the mashma that the Rabbanan say that it's aser. Because even though there's no beis hamikdash, so then if that's the case, so why do we let kohanim grow their hair long? They should also have to cut their hair every 30 days at least. So in my timer, yes, the Gemara answers, what's the reason? Meheira yibana beis hamikdash, right? Meheira, right? Meheira. They're saying this already for 2,000 years, right? Speedily, yibana beis hamikdash, being a kohen haroi la'avoda, you're going to need a kohen that's roi for avoda, and you're not going to have it because he's drunk. But if he needs a haircut, right, David, like you were saying, the beis hamikdash knocking, they could wait 5 minutes, give him a quick haircut, and then he goes and does the avoda. But for drinking, he's not going to be able to get rid of it. To which the Gemara asks, right? No. So before that, in Nagaya to Chanukah, Tosfos asked, the second Tosfos asked, I mean, that's the least of your issues. If Mashiach comes today, I mean, what we got a bunch of Tamei Kohanim, right? Right. So it's Tosfos kasha. Were you worried about their haircuts and whether they drank some wine by the Hanukkah party? What about the Tumah? And they need at least 7 days. What are you saying? You're muted, Rabban.
I'm sorry. Tumah hudra b'tzibur.
Very good. Exactly. Tosfos mechavan the Tosfos teretz. Tumah hudra b'tzibur. Right, the whole tzibur's tummy, so kohanim could do work. So how come we're now we celebrating the days of Hanukkah?
Wait a minute.
Right, there you go. Right, exactly. And Yonah the Yoma. So So the whole tzibur was tummy back then by Hanukkah too. So why wasn't the oil mutter? Right.
So you say the same thing now. So you would say the same thing. We wanted to have this chadshah should be tar. So the same way Avoda to buy a shlishi, we want everybody to be tip-top shape.
I guess, but I don't know. But that's whatever it is. But again, I just want to repeat because it's an important Tosfos. We're worried about getting kohanim who need to take haircuts and who are maybe drunk, right? What about their old tummy? So Tosfos says tumah hudra b'tzibur, to which a lot of mafarshim ask on Hanukkah. So why wasn't the oil tumah hudra b'tzibur? And they should just use the oil, right? Okay, fine. Ihachi. We should have a Hanukkah party tonight.
I didn't know that. No.
What?
I didn't know.
By Hanukkah,
and he's the president of Alpha Shul. He's tummy. I didn't know that.
Tiago, by Hanukkah, were they? It's dafka that everybody was tummy.
I would imagine a large part of the tzibur was tummy. No.
Yeah, but there must have been the Kohen must have been a Kohen that was not tummy.
No, they were the ones who were leading the army. No, Aaron, they led the army. They were all soldiers, the kohanim.
But the oil is coming.
That's by the way, Rabbi Brown last night gave he had his shir over, and he pretty much debunked all the Hanukkah. He says I don't remember what it was. I mean, I just heard it from my son, but he said like there was nothing wrong with using the oil maker, and he went through a whole bunch of kashas. He didn't give tirutzim, But yeah, going through Shas. Okay, whatever. These are the kashas. Fine. Let's see weiter. Ihachi shasa yayinami after the gani porta v'ayil. So we're saying, what, you're gonna have time for the guy to take a haircut? So let him go to sleep, and he sleeps off his drunkenness, right? As we all know, or most know, right? You're a little drunk, you take a little nap, and then you're good to go. Because the Rami Bar Abba, derech mil v'shina kol shehu mafigin es hayayin. If you walk a mill, right, which is 18-minute walk, or you even sleep a little bit, that takes away the time of the yain. Now this is very nageya, but not obviously to kohanim. Halavai should be negated, but it's negated to anybody who on Purim you want to bench, you want to daven, and you drank. You're not allowed to daven when you drink a revius of yayin. You're not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to daven. So then the question is the revius of yayin nowadays? The yayin is less potent, and ahin and whatever it is, but the din is like that. So you take a little nap, then it's okay. And if you take a long walk for 18 minutes, it's also okay. So that is negay on Purim. Anyway, so that's the kasha. What are you saying?
No mincha on Purim anymore.
No, a lot of people don't drink till after mincha because of this.
No mincha on Purim, no drinking, maybe, but not. Why would you say no mincha?
No, Rav Moshe Chaim was in Farak. There was no drinking. He davened the first zman, the earliest zman to the minute. Then they started drinking in his house. He had a mincha in his house, and then
They do a
Or you could do minig Horowitz, which is drink in the morning, sleep it off, whichever house you happen to sleep it off in, and then you daven mincha, and then you go for another round, right? That's the minig. Minig I was saying to be a day. Right?
Rabbi, you see it? You ain't worried about the president with the alcohol, is it?
Listen, Purim is, but it's the way Purim should be. But anyway, so that's the kasha. So let him just sleep it off. So Gemara says, "Lav mi yitmarol." Didn't we not learn this? That it helps to take a little nap or to take a walk. That's only if you drink a revius, which is a minimal amount. If you drink more than a revius, if you're going to take a walk, it's actually going to get even more. Veshina mishakarta, and the sleep is actually going to make him more drunk. So therefore, it would only help for revius. I think we did have it in brachas.
Yeah, we had something about the whole alcohol.
Eruvin.
One of them.
I only looked at the Masaras Hashah, so it's in Eruvin, yes.
One of them. We had this. I remember this. Yeah.
Very, very good, Peretz. Very good.
One of the few things.
You must not have been drinking that night.
It wasn't the end of the period.
Or I was.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Rav Ashi Omar, Shisu Yayin the Machli Avoda, right? So the people that drink yayin, they're machal the avoda, they make the avoda bad. Gazbu rabban and they made a gzeira. Peruei roish the loy machli avoda. Let's say a kohen does the avoda and he has a stick along here. There's nothing wrong with that avoda. It's not proper, but he's not going to passel it. A kohen who's drunk is going to passel the avoda. So then loy gazbu rabban, and there the rabban didn't make a gzeira to answer it a whole year. So meisvei. So they asked the kasha of elu shein b'misa, right? So who are the kohanim that are chayim misa? Shasu yain, if he drinks yain, uperui roish, and if he has long hair, yeah. Ubishlam shasu yain behed yuksiv. So somebody who drinks ksiv who it says beferish, yain v'shecher al teish. Don't drink wine and beer. See, it says here it says shecher, so it sounds like it's other alcoholic beverages too. Don't drink. Ela perui roish malon. But how do you know that somebody, a kohen who has long hair, is going to be chayav misa if he does the avodah? That they shouldn't cut their hair. Excuse me. And they shouldn't grow long hair. Uksiv basrei. And they shouldn't drink. Any kind that's going into the chatzar of the beis hamikdash inside should not drink. And we're making a comparison between growing the hair long and drinking masha, so yain b'misa. It's just like somebody who drinks wine is misa af perui rosh, b'misa, so perui rosh is also b'misa. Umina, and we learn out from that. Imasha su yain. Yeah. If somebody who drinks wine, the machli avoda makes the avoda passel af perui rosh, machli avoda. So perui rosh also makes the avoda passel. And then let's skip the parentheses. Amalei Ravina Ravashi. Hamakame dasi yichezkel man omra. So who said this before yichezkel? Meaning, you can't. This passuk is from yichezkel. So you have a whole Torah talking about the halachas of kohanim, and it didn't mention anything like this. It's only yichezkel. So Amar Levi l'tamei says, according to you, Hadam Rav Chisda, Davar zemi Torah's moshe loy lemanda. We don't learn out from the Torah, from the Torah's moshe, meaning the Torah. We did Kabbalah lemanda. We learn it out from Kabbalah, which is Nevi'im, which is Kol ben necher oral lev, oral basar. Lo yaveh hamikdash. So anybody who's considered a stranger, which means he has an oral, he doesn't have a bris, can't come into the beis hamikdash. So that's a passuk in yichezkel also. So before yichezkel, how do we know that somebody who doesn't have a bris is not allowed to come to the beis hamikdash? Hamakame da'asi yichezkel man amra. Before yichezkel came along, who said it? Elo gemara g'mirla. He had a gemara, meaning means halacha lmoshe misinai. That's what Rashi says. Yichezkel came and he said he based it on the passuk. So Hanami Gemara Gemirla, Yichezkel Asim Hakra, and he based it on the passuk. Yeah. So therefore, that's how we know that a kohen who has long hair will passel the Avoda, and will also passel, and drinking would also passel. Yeah. So it comes out it's really a Machlokes whether growing long hair will pass, a kohen growing long hair will then passel the Avoda. Fine. Okay, so weiter. Migilas Taanis So for the next, tomorrow's whole daf is going to be all about Migilas Taanis, which is interesting because the one Migilas Taanis that we're keeping, the two, is Purim and Chanukah, which is what we're in the middle of, right? So we said we have a Machlokes. If the Migilas Taanis, which are again, all those are the Yom Tovim that they made to celebrate different things that happen, whether you're allowed to say Haspedim or not. So the Gemara is going on that if they made a Migilas, so they had different levels of Migilas Taanis. Migilas, some were that you can't have Haspedim, and some were that some that you should just fast. So let's see. So Derabanan, Elin Yoimin Deloilis Ana behind. These are the days that you're not allowed to fast. Umiksasan. And then there are some that you're not allowed to say Haspedim, right? So Mereish Yachad the Nissan Batimnayabe, from Rosh Chodesh Nissan until the 8th of Nissan. So what was the holiday about that? This has nothing to do with that. We don't say Tachnon the whole Nissan, right? This is a different thing. There's a Yom Tovim that they had back then. So the first 8 days of Nissan were Yom Tovim. So Isukam Tamida, that's when they were Masakin, that they decided that's when the carbon tumid is gonna be brought. Meaning there was a big, a lot of them have to do when they had machlokes in between the apikarsim and the fruma about how different halachas should be. So
just because you're not allowed, we don't fast on them or we don't make a hesped, that makes it a yontif.
That's what they're saying. Since it's a yontif, you cannot fast and you cannot. Yeah, that's that.
But what aspect? So what's the yontif? I'm saying what aspect? What do we do that makes it a yontif?
No, I think that's it.
Anything else that we do?
No, like Hanukkah. What do we do? Right?
Like what we light the menorah.
Yeah, we light the menorah, but that because those are the major ones that we stick with. The other ones were like a step below this. The other ones were a step below this. And they were a step below.
They ate $10 donuts.
That's a reason.
I can't believe such a thing. I thought $8 was the max.
You didn't see the sushi donut, that's why. But so these were different levels of Yom Tovim. So this one, it was a machlokes between the apikarsim and the frum, whether the carbon tumid should be brought from the public money or private money. So they finally won out that it should come from the public money. So they made a Yom Tiv for 8 days. The loy the misbed behind, and that you shouldn't say Haspedim is mitimnayabe from the 8th at Saif Mayada until the end of Pesach, right? Which is it's just 7 days then plus Pesach. So itais of Chag the Shvuah the loy the misbed behind, because they established there that Shvuas, but they basically established because the machlokes between the apikarsim and the frum was that they held, and we're going to see this more in I think Chagiga, whatever it is, that the apikarsim said Shavuos always has to be on a Sunday because it says Macharas HaShabbos. So they said it always has to be on a Sunday, to which we don't agree. So until they won out, to have it established in the beis hamikdash that it's going to be whatever day of the week it falls out. So to celebrate that, they had another week of no espedim. Yeah, so those are the first 15 days of Nisan. So Omar Mar, Meireish Yarcha de Nisan atimnaya be isaikum timida deloy lemisped. Right? They said because they were masaking the korban tamid, so there's no espedim. Lamali Meireish Yarcha. Why do you have to say from Rosh Chodesh Nissan? Lema mitreben Nisan. Why don't you say from beis Nisan? We had a similar Gemara Rosh Hashanah. Right? Rosh Chodesh Gufei Yom Tov Uva Asur. Rosh Chodesh is in itself a Yom Tov. Why do you have to say that this special holiday started from Rosh Chodesh if it didn't have to? Rosh Chodesh is in itself a holiday. So Amarav Lo Nitzruch Elo Lesser Yom Shelafarim. No, because what we're trying to say is that the day before, since it's a Yom Tov, so it's the day before is also right. So therefore, if you're not going to say it, then you're not. If you're not going to say that it's a Yom Tov, you're not going to answer the day before. So the obvious question is, the Gemara asks, Yom Shalaf made Rosh Chodesh. Erev Rosh Chodesh, you also can't say Espedim. Meaning the Gemara wants to say that because of these holidays. The reason why we're saying it's a holiday is because that means on Erev Rosh Chodesh, you're not allowed to say Espedim. But Stam on every Erev Rosh Chodesh, you're not allowed to say Espedim. So what's the Gemara adding? So the Gemara says, and it's a big Yisod, Rosh Chodesh Dairais to whom? Rosh Chodesh is from the Torah. And something from the Torah doesn't need chizuk. People are going to listen when it's in the Torah. The Tanya, migilas Taanis. These days that are in migilas Taanis, lefneim ulacharayin asurin, before and after they're asur. Shabbos is v'yom tovim, but Shabbos and Yom Tov hein asurin, lefneim ulacharayin mutarim. Right? You're allowed to say espedim on a Friday, at least Friday in the morning, and you're allowed to say espedim on a Sunday. Right? Why? Why is that? I mean, are we saying that a Shabbos and Yom Tov is less chashuv than rabbinic Yom Tovim? What's the difference between that and that? So halalu divrei Torah. Gemara says Shabbos and Yom Tov divrei Torah. But divrei Torah ain't tzrichim chizuk. They don't need chizuk because people are going to listen. Halalu divrei seifrim. The other ones are divrei seifrim. But divrei seifrim tzrichim chizuk. The Derabanan things need chizuk. So therefore, the days before and the days after have to be asur and hesped. So that's why they said that it's also from Rosh Chodesh and on. Okay, we'll stop here. And a good night for those that are signing off, and for those that are sticking for the kids' share. I'll see you in a few minutes. There's the share. All right. Sei gesund.